the cool thing was that I already had some pipes running in the walls to heat the house. That was like the old way that people were using in this house for heating. So I just made some adapters in the miner, and then I took like one big pipe from the miner to the pipes of the house. So the heat is actually going through the whole house in all the rooms, you know.
Welcome back to another episode of Bitfinex Talks. I'm your host, Ricardo Martinez, and today I am very, very happy to be joined by Ricardo Aran, who is a friend of mine that I met in Lugano at the Plan B conference. When was that? In October?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
It was
The
October.
end of
Yes,
October. It was like
yes,
right around
yeah,
Halloween,
yeah, yeah,
as I
something like
recall.
that. Yes.
Yeah. All right, cool. Well,
Thank you, my
Ricardo,
friend. Thank you.
how are you?
I'm really good. Yes, that's the end of my day. So yeah, I'm relaxed, and I'm really happy to be here with you for this interview. So yeah, very happy.
Amazing. Well, I'm
Yes.
happy to
And
have you here. For those that don't know, Ricardo is an Italian Bitcoiner who is an aspiring sovereign individual. And he has a YouTube channel called Aran, which is why you see Aran
yes.
there on the screen.
Yeah.
Ricardo's YouTube channel tells you how to live off the grid and use Bitcoin to escape the financial system. So I'm really, really happy to have him on here because that's super cypherpunk. Like, I guess give us the rundown. Like, what's your situation right now? You told me that you live on a farm, you're kind of self-sufficient. Like, at what point have you taken this sovereign individual thing to?
Okay, so right now, now it's like 10 years I'm living in middle of a forest in a house with my family. So it's with my partner and 3 kids.
Okay.
And I'm like, let's say 1 hour from Torino. So that's the biggest city that is close to me, but I'm completely secluded. And so the house is completely off grid. So yeah, in the last year, I've been working on many different things because this kind of life is like full of different aspects. So what we are really taking care about is like trying to grow our food and collect the water from a source or from the rain, produce our energy and everything. I mean, yeah, like cutting the wood for the stove, building everything, fixing everything. So that's the way we are living right now.
It sounds extremely rustic, first of all. But
Yeah.
how are you how are you accomplishing these goals? Like how are we on the internet right now with lights and all that, like doing our podcast?
Yeah, that's not easy actually. I mean, there are so many different things that you need to do to have like everything working. That's true, but the feeling that you have in the end of the day is really like rewarding, and that's, I think, the real nature of human beings. So that's why I'm doing this. I did this choice like a few years ago because that was the feeling I had. So I had the feeling that for like a biological reasons, people like human beings needs to take care of all the different aspects of their life. So yeah, that was my idea when I arrived here, and actually I can say that it's true. It's actually working. I mean, yeah. So yeah, it's not easy, but I mean, even living in the city is not easy. So that's what I can
But
say.
what are you doing for lights though? Like do you have solar panels? Do you have like a wind generator,
For
like
the
some sort
yes,
of
yeah.
water
Right now
turbine? Like how are you?
we have solar panels, and I'm working on a small hydroelectric plant. So yeah, since we have some water running down from the mountain, I'm
Okay.
trying to understand how to produce some energy from the water. I already have all the tools ready, so yeah, that's one project I'm working on right now. So yeah, now we have like solar panels and few batteries, and of course we try to save some energy, but I mean, we are in a place that is pretty sunny. So yeah, that's a perfect way for collecting energy for us. It's really working.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. That's
Yeah.
amazing. And then
Yes.
as far as like your food, like you mentioned, you
Yeah,
have water that runs down from the mountain. I imagine you have like a river and you like purify water
yeah.
and like capture the rainwater and that kind of thing, which you mentioned earlier. But like for your food, what are you guys doing? Like permaculture, or like are you
Yes.
just growing like a traditional garden? Or
Yes, no, that's permaculture. I mean, everything is the basic idea for us. It's from permaculture. So that's the thing. Yes, and I'm happy that you are saying this word because many people are not really aware of permaculture. And so, yeah, when you start to design a place using permaculture principles, then everything is connected. So the water is connected with the house, with electricity, with the chicken coop, with the with the garden and whatever. So everything is together. That's the way we are designing. And about the food, yeah, we have a big garden, like a vegetable garden,
do you have like a food
and
forest?
yeah, I mean, yes, we plant like an orchard. So
Okay,
that's we are
okay.
working on this art. We are doing different experiments, because I mean the cycles are really long because you are working with nature. So sometimes you try something and then you discover that it's not working after like 2 years. So it's kind
Yeah,
of
yeah, yeah.
so the time preference is really long, but that's really aligned with Bitcoin, for example.
Yeah,
And
I
so
mean, like,
yeah,
how's that overlap take place with Bitcoin? I guess.
with sorry.
How does the overlap with Bitcoin and being like an off grid?
I mean, permaculture is all about taking the responsibility of our life back, you know, about all, I mean, in every aspect. And I mean, Bitcoin was like the cherry on top of the cake for me because actually I discovered permaculture before Bitcoin. And so everything was kind of working again, like food, electricity, water, whatever. But there was like an aspect that was missing and was actually the money aspect, because
Mhm.
then you do all this beautiful project about permaculture and then you use like euros to buy stuff, and that's not really on the same page. So when I discovered Bitcoin in the first place, I was like, wow, that's the tool that all the people like me should use to exchange value, to buy stuff and things like that. And then after a few years, also, I mean, I discovered the mining, how the mining is working, and that was really like the final epiphany for me, because when you produce your own energy and you are completely off grid, of course you have a big surplus of energy that people are usually wasting, or you can like boil some water or do things like that are not really useful. I mean, you just try to use this electricity for something, but it's not easy to find a specific useful thing for this electricity. And mining is actually perfect, especially because we are on the mountains, and I mean, it's cold. It's kind of cold,
Okay.
and also, I mean,
And you
the
can
miner
use the
is
heat.
heating. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
so when I plugged for the first time the miner, I didn't expect that much heat coming from it. So
Okay.
people were telling me, yeah, it's heating, but I didn't expect that much. So that was just amazing. I mean, my
How
whole
much are we
family was like,
talking?
wow.
Like
Sorry?
how much heat are we talking, like for somebody that doesn't mind, that doesn't understand how much heat we're talking?
Uh, okay, I have a two-floor house, and it's something like, I don't know, it's maybe 75, 80 square meters.
Okay.
And right now, I'm hitting the whole second floor. But I mean, yeah, and I'm using the miner, usually it's like half of the maximum power of the miner. So
Okay.
I mean, I think you can almost hit the whole house with one miner, you know.
And what kind of miner are
So
you using? Are you using like a S19 or like a
yeah,
S9 or like?
S19J Pro. Yes, that's the one
Okay.
I have. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Perfect.
So, and the cool thing was that I already had some pipes running in the walls to heat the house. That was like the old way that people were using in this house for heating. So I
Mhm.
just made some adapters in the miner, and then I took like one big pipe from the miner to the pipes of the house. So the heat is actually going through the whole house in all the rooms, you know. So
That's
that's really
amazing.
cool. Yes,
That's
yeah.
super cool.
So that's the first. I think that's the first use of for home mining is the heat, not for the Bitcoin. Of course, then you have some like a reward, but the first
Mhm.
thing is heating. That's really amazing the way it's working. So yeah.
I don't know. Did you ever meet Bert de Groot? It's a Bitcoin company in Holland, and they made like a
Oh,
greenhouse that they heated up with mining. He was in Lugano. I met him there when I met you.
okay. Yeah, I think
But
so. I think so.
okay, he was using that heat in the Netherlands to like heat a whole greenhouse. Like they had
Uh
ones with
huh.
tulips and then ones with like agricultural crops and stuff. But yeah, like are you
Yes.
using it in that way to like heat greenhouses so you can grow veggies during the winter and stuff like
Not
that yet?
yet.
Or yeah.
Not yet. Not yet. But I really want to do it actually. Yes.
Okay.
So that's something I will do in the future for sure. I mean, I'm just starting to do experiments. So yeah. Yes, definitely.
So do you only have one miner like heating your house, or do you have a couple miners? And like are you
No, it's
producing that much energy like to power like more than one miner, or is it just one?
no. Right now it's just one.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, yeah. So it's not easy. I mean, the S19 having two is like a lot of power consumption. So I think one for a householder is like perfect for me right now. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
That's super cool.
yes,
Like
yeah,
the coolest thing about it is that you're generating your own power and you're basically
yeah,
like running your miner for free.
yeah.
Like, is it profitable to mine in like Italy if you're like hooked up to the grid and paying like for
No,
an electricity bill? No?
no, 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 definitely not. I mean, the electricity is like the price was increasing a few months ago. So now
Okay.
it's something like, I don't know, maybe 25, 30 cents per kilowatt hour. And so that's not profitable at all unless you heat the house. I mean, if your first goal is heating the house, then it can be profitable because you have to
You're
heat
not
your
paying
house
for the heat.
anyway.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so you don't pay for the heat and you have some Bitcoin, like a cashback in Bitcoin, let's say. So if you change your way of heating the house, then can be profitable. Yeah, yeah. So what I'm doing right now is working on a software project with some other people, some friends,
Okay.
and so we are trying. I mean, it's actually working in my home like right now. It's a software that it's switching on and off the miner based on the surplus energy of the panels. So every time like the batteries are almost full and things like that, this is like heating and this is turning on. This is really, I think, the perfect use for a house, for this kind of houses. Then of course the heating is not like 24/7 because you know there are some days where the
Sometimes
miner
it's
is not
summer and
rotting.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
like today was a beautiful day, the miner was like running and working, but like yesterday not at all. So of course you need to have like a backup, so another way for heating your house, that's for sure. I mean, at least in my case. But yeah, yes,
Okay, cool. And then like you mentioned that you use Bitcoin like to exchange value, like in order to
yeah,
be self-sovereign, like in the
yeah,
forest like that. Are you
yeah.
close to other Bitcoiners? It kind of sounds like you're a little bit remote.
Yeah, no, not really. I mean, I can see that the people from the mountains, they have this idea of sovereignty, but they are not really into this technology. But like, for example, in a couple of days, I'm going to talk in a like, how can I say, like a cultural bar, like cafe,
Okay.
here, close to here, and talking about Bitcoin. I hope some people will come, and so yeah. I'm
Well,
trying to
give
talk
give the
about that.
details. Like I don't know how many Italian Bitcoiners watch my show, but give the details just in case, like so they could go.
Okay, yeah, it's a small place. The name of the town is Pessinetto, but I don't think anybody know it. But if somebody is around Torino, Turin, in the north of Italy, then of course they can join. They can contact me. I will give some more details. Yes,
Okay,
thank you.
for sure. So like I guess you're active in the Bitcoin community, but you're kind of removed because you're out in the woods. Like, where do
Yeah.
you participate in meetups and like conferences and stuff like that, or are you
Yeah.
pretty much just kind
Yes.
of doing your thing out in the middle of nowhere?
No, no, no. I mean, I'm traveling a lot actually, even with my family. So yeah, I'm trying to do as many conferences I can, and also, I mean, the Aran channel on YouTube is mostly about like interviews to Bitcoiners.
Okay,
So yeah, I've been traveling all the conferences around Europe and doing interviews actually. So yes, I'm
amazing.
really active. Yeah, 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 yeah. I mean, I
That's
spent the
super cool.
first, I can say that like the first 5 years I was just staying here. Yeah. Because I don't know, there were so many things to do and was the beginning of a new life. So I was just like here. But then when the kids arrived and, this passion for Bitcoin arrived like fully, then I started to travel again and doing many things around. So yeah, I mean, for me right now is a perfect match between like having a house that is yeah, like really a nest, like a place where I can, let's say, where I can rest, and my active life where I'm like traveling around and doing many different things. Yeah.
No, it sounds like you got it made, man. That's like the dream. So, if someone who's watching this is a sovereign individual, aspiring person, like what would you recommend to them to develop their own homestead in the way that you've done?
Oh, that's a good question. When I started this new life, I wasn't thinking at all. I just did it. So that's what I did.
Mhm.
I found this house and I decided to move here. And then when I was here, I started to design. And so that was my personal process, because I know that sometimes the mind can be like too, you can be too into the thoughts, let's
Yeah,
say.
overthinking
So
things. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So from I mean, the way I am, I knew that if I was like starting to design my new life before doing it, then I would probably, get stuck in the process of, designing and stuff like that. So my way was just doing it, because, and then the crazy thing is that once you take like a big decision like this one, then I don't know, I think like life is giving you back everything, you know so yeah, that's what happened to me. So I arrived here, and just for the reason that I did this big change of my life, then everything happened before that. So that was my, but of course, what I can say, if I should give like an advice to somebody, it's to yeah, to read something about permaculture, because the way that permaculture is it's working is just like perfect. Because first thing, you have to observe the place where you are and take slow decisions and see how the nature is working in that place before you were like going there, so don't, I mean, how can I say, yeah, try to make wise decisions, try to think in the long run, try to design, try to connect all the dots together. And yeah, so definitely like studying permaculture a little bit, and yeah, try to understand the place where you're going, and step by step, and being patient, because you cannot be sovereign in like one step. You have to be patient and start to, I don't know, make your own energy, and then after that collect your water, and then make a small garden, and then, step by step. It takes years, but then, I mean, you arrive to your goal. And I'm still like working for my goal. I'm not 100% sovereign. I mean, that's for sure. But I don't even know if, I mean, in the modern society, I think it's okay to find like a middle way where, I mean, you are sovereign of like many aspects of your life, but of course something you need to delegate something. And but
Yeah.
that's okay, especially if you try that's from my point of view. If you try to find people like next to you and not go too far, so that's really like, I think, the perfect society. I mean, being connected like me and you in this moment, like from one side to the other one of the planet, it's
Yeah.
super cool. But at the same time, it's cool to find the food and everything you need just like around you, from the people around you, support the community around you. So yeah, that's my way.
Yeah, no, that's super cool, man. It's super
Yeah.
inspiring, to be honest, because I know a lot of us Bitcoiners are freedom minded, and we
Hmm.
envision ourselves doing something like this at some point in our citadels. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
like, the fact that you're doing it is awesome. Uh,
Yeah.
I guess another question I have for you is, aside from like a garden and like vegetables and fruits and that kind of thing,
Yeah.
are you growing like, I mean, I guess you wouldn't say growing, but do you have chickens? Do you have like any other like animals that are producing like food for you as well, or
Yeah.
no?
Yeah. For now, we have, I mean, we have the chickens. That's what we have. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I
Okay,
mean, of course, we
amazing.
have cats and dogs, and yeah, but
Yeah, yeah.
but yeah, we have the chickens. Yeah, I mean, we thought a few times to take like other kind of animals, like bigger, like a donkey or whatever. But
Yeah,
it's for the life that we are having right now. That's really a
a
lot.
lot of
You know,
work.
take care
Yeah.
of these kind of animals. It's really like something, and we really want to give the best to the animals that are staying here with us. So we decided that for now the chickens are the best animal that we could have, and they are really amazing. Actually, they do. I mean, as we say in permaculture, they do different functions, not only making eggs, but they do like thousand of things, and they are super rustic. They really stay in the forest. They live in the forest. Yeah, so they're really cool.
That's amazing, man. And
Yeah.
then uh I guess like with your garden and your efforts to produce your own food, like is that like enough to sustain you guys? Like do you have to go to the grocery store still, or do you pretty much produce all your own food?
Well, I can say that we collect a lot of wild herbs also, and there are
Okay.
many in the forest. So I'm lucky because my partner, she's really good in recognizing plants, and she knows
Uh-huh.
all the properties of the plants. So when she go out in the forest, she come back with so many things to eat that are really amazing. Actually, I mean, the taste is really good, and also I all the properties that these herbs are having are amazing. So it's not easy to be 100% self-sufficient on food. That's for sure. Especially, I mean, there are a few things that we cannot grow here, you know.
Mhm.
So like all the wheat or rice or stuff like that, or legumes. I mean, that's really a lot of
Yeah.
work. But again, that's okay. We have some friends that are producing this stuff really close to here, and we are happy to exchange something for these kind of products. But for example, during the COVID, we were not moving from here. It was really amazing, and I think we didn't go to the any grocery store for like weeks and weeks.
Wow.
So of course we were eating simple food. We were collecting stuff in the forest, eggs and vegetables and fruit and stuff like that. Really simple food, but we were super happy. So we can survive, definitely. Of course, we cannot have everything that, I mean, yeah, you have in
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
when,
No, I
yeah.
understand.
So yeah, there are a few things that require like a lot of land, and we are on the mountains. The climate is not the best for growing few like kind of stuff. So yeah, but
Your
we
neighbors
could
that
be,
you
I mean,
trade with, your neighbors
yeah,
that you trade with,
yeah.
do they accept Bitcoin? Like, can you pay them in Bitcoin to buy some,
No,
I
not
don't know,
right
like
now.
potatoes or
No,
whatever they're making? No.
no, no. I know, but I mean, again, the people here are amazing. I didn't expect this kind of people here. So they are
Yeah.
like, how can I say? They are anarchists in the soul, you know. That's from like the previous generations. I mean, people from the mountain are like they really want to do things by themselves. They never call any other like police or whatever. If there is any problem, they try to solve the problems by themselves, but in a very polite way. They are super
Yeah.
cool, super nice. They like to have the garden, to have the animals, to go hunting, whatever. They really do everything by themselves. But when you talk about Bitcoin, I mean, it's not easy as you can imagine because these people are living in a, I don't know how to say, but they're not
In a
really
different
connected with,
world,
yeah,
basically.
they're not
Yeah.
really connected with digital things. So there are so many, uh,
Do you guys have phone reception out there? Like, do
yeah,
people have cell phones?
yeah, yeah,
Can they
yeah,
make
yes.
calls, or is it too mountainy for the signal to arrive?
No, 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 it's working. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yes, yes, yes.
So they got that at least.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But
Yeah,
I'm trying to talk about Bit. I think slowly,
yeah.
slowly they will. I mean, they will notice that, people don't really know that the fiat money are working as they are. They don't know.
Mhm.
They don't know. They don't know that this can be a problem. I mean, they can see that the prices of the things are rising. They can
Life
see that
gets
the
harder and
salaries,
harder.
yeah, exactly. But they don't really know, they don't really realize that the money is probably the biggest problem that they have. So,
Yeah,
yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. But I mean, yeah, I'm talking around and slowly, slowly, I think it will arrive here as well.
yeah, man. So like you seem like a pioneer of trying to achieve this sovereign lifestyle that we all dream about. But are there other Italian Bitcoiners that are like you that are doing the same kind of things?
Yes, I think so. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, um, Bitcoin, you know, all the permacultures that I know are not really into Bitcoin,
Yeah, they're
So
more
what I,
into organic
yeah,
gardening.
yeah, what I found is that it's easy to talk about permaculture to Bitcoiners, but it's not easy to talk about Bitcoin to permaculturers because, um, I mean, this digital thing is like something they don't really understand. So how the digital world can be integrated with the permaculture life is not really clear, but that's another goal for me actually. So I'm starting to write some articles about like Bitcoin for permacultures and
Okay.
I also planning to go to talk in a couple of places where there are some like gathering like meetings of permacultures. I want to go there and try to talk about Bitcoin. But the thing, the environment thing, the pollution of Bitcoin, it's probably the wall that,
I think
I
that's
mean,
so unfair personally because like there's
yeah,
been research papers that have come out and disproved
I know, I
the thing
know,
of like Bitcoin actually incentivizes like green energy
I
because they're
know,
looking for waste energy that is
I know.
not being used.
But
Like
that's a
you right
big,
now
man,
are
that's a
producing
big
waste
change.
energy and mining with it. Like
Yes, yeah, yeah. But that's a big change for the mind. I mean, understanding that something that is using energy can be, yeah, integrated in a, like, how can I say,
a beneficial
env-
way.
yeah, exactly. It's not easy. It's not easy.
Yeah.
It's not easy. I mean, it took some time for me to understand it. So yeah,
Did you
but
think Bitcoin mining was bad like before you looked into it and started deciding to
no,
mine to
no,
like use your
no,
energy
no.
and all? No?
Actually, I remember when I first met Bitcoin, I knew that there was this like electricity problem, let's say, around.
Mm.
Like people were talking about this topic, but my first feeling was like everything is using energy. I mean, so if we have like a honest monetary system that is using some energy, that's good. I mean, and that's what was my first impression of about Bitcoin. And then, of course, when you go deep in the rabbit hole, then you discover the ways that you can use mining, even in a house like this one. It's really amazing, and that's something that I really suggest to the people to try to do. Like try to mine, even just with a small bitax. Even it's really educational, and maybe you start with a small device.
You can't knock those small BitAxe devices. There's been two
Yeah.
blocks found by solo
Yes.
miners using
Yes.
BitAxes like in the last week.
Yeah.
So imagine
That's
lottery
amazing.
hitting $300,000 or whatever it is. Like, wow.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. That's really amazing. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, just try to mine. That's
Do
what
you pool
I
mine or do you mine solo like that?
I'm
Do you
with
lottery
Ocean.
mine?
I'm with Ocean right now.
Okay,
So
cool.
yeah, and I think it's really cool. So with Datum, you can build your own block template. So that's one step for the decentralization of mining. So that's what I'm doing right now, but new things are happening right now with Stratum V2. So we will see what happens in the future. I'm trying to, I'm experimenting everything. Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing, man. That's super cool. And
Yeah.
then I guess my last question, because we're running out of time, is
Yeah.
like, what kind of growing season do you have? Because I know like Italy is famous for its Mediterranean climate, right? Which makes it like a very
Hmm.
bountiful place to grow agricultural products and stuff like that. But then you say you're
Yeah.
in the mountains. So like, do you
Yeah.
have like what's your growing season like?
Yeah. It's shorter. It's much shorter than the rest of Italy. But okay, the good thing is that we are perfectly facing south with the house. So we have a lot of sun. So like today I was sweating outside under the sun, even if it's March. I mean, it's a super cool place and we have a lot of sun. But of course, the season is shorter than like when you are in the flatland or in the south of Italy. But I mean, I can say that I mean, as long as you like the idea of maybe hitting the same like 4 or 5 vegetables during the winter, then it's fine, you know, because during the summer you can make everything you want here, and then during the winter you have some like less variety, but they are
Mhm.
still the vegetables that probably you should eat in the winter in this place, you know, because I believe that what the land is giving you, that's what you should eat in that
Seasonal
period of
diet.
the year. Yeah. So we like potatoes, cabbages, and stuff like that, and all the kind of salads and onions and whatever. So actually, we have a pretty good like variety of greens during the winter as well. Yeah.
Do you have like a greenhouse like to
Yeah.
extend the growing season? Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. 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 We have it.
Okay.
Yes.
Awesome. That's super cool, man. Um,
Yeah.
I guess is there anything else you want to say to close out the interview? Do you want to leave the audience with any final words on how to become a self-sovereign individual like yourself?
Yeah, just like do your experiments, talk with other people, try to understand from the mistakes of others. And I mean, I think the best thing of this kind of life is that you solve many different problems with only one, step. I don't know how to say, but before coming here, I had many things that were not really working in my life, in my mind. I was not really like completely satisfied. And, and then you look for different solutions, but all the solutions are like partial. How can I, yeah, can I say that in
Yeah,
English?
partial.
Like
Partial is
only
the
one, yeah.
excellent word.
So you
Yeah.
are only taking care of one little aspect of your life, and you try to solve one little thing, but then the rest is maybe not working. But I mean, if you fully live your life trying to do everything you need for living, for surviving, then many different parts of your mind and your body are getting like activated, let's say, and like you go back in a kind of more like natural, I don't know, feeling for life, for everything. You feel better. So that's what was inspiring me. That was my idea, my goal. I was like, okay, I think if you go like together with the nature, together with the environment, if you live like a simple kind of life, then I will feel better. So that was my idea in the beginning, and I can say that it's really working. So my suggestion and my last advice for everyone is like try to go back in your sovereignty that we had for thousands of years, and now we don't have, just in the last 50, 100 years, that was lost, but we have it for so many generations. And that's the way I think that human beings should live, like trying to do their own stuff, and all, of course, connect to the people, connect to the world, being like also working with technology. That's okay. We don't need to go back in the Stone Age. That's not the idea. The idea is to use the technology, use Bitcoin, use internet, use whatever you want, but at the same time being in front of the nature, work with the nature, work with all the cycles of nature, with the wind and the sun and the snow and whatever is happening. The nature is having so many things to teach you, and that it's really like unbelievable. So that's my idea. My
It's a
suggestion.
beautiful way to close it out, man. Like I would say, like using tools like Bitcoin or the internet is like you use them as tools for freedom. Like
Yeah,
I would like to add that. But
yeah,
yeah,
exactly. Yes, yes.
yeah, no. Well, Ricardo, thank you so much for coming on the
Thank
show.
you. Thank you very much. It was like really nice to be here with you.